What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Atraxa Grand Unifier in Historic Brawl, although this is not your typical Atraxa Grand Unifier video. So I'll go over Atraxa real quick. 7 mana, 3 generic, green, white, blue, black, 7/7 for Phyrexian Angel, flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink. Just to summarize that big block of text. Essentially, when Atraxa ETBs, you get to look at the top 10 cards of your library, and for each permanent type, you can put one of them into your hand. So that includes instants, sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, blah, 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 blah. So I think we all know what this card does, right? We've all been around the block with Atraxa. I don't need to go into too much depth with it. So I was thinking we could do something kind of fun. So I did this with Golos. If you look at the deck list, you'll notice something kind of striking. Where are the blue and green spells? We're in 4-color Atraxa. Where are they? Well, we're going to play Orzhov Atraxa. And for the next couple videos, I guess it'll be 6 total if I did my math right. I'm going to do, for each guild in Atraxa's colors, I'm going to do a video. That's a video for Selesnya, Azorius, Dimir. See if I can get them all. Simic, Orzhov, and Golgari. Yeah, 6. So today we're doing Orzhov, but we are going to do a video for each one of those guilds and try to see if we can get wins with this card. This card is so good. I have confidence that I can get at least one win with each of the guilds. It's going to be difficult with some of them, but that's part of the fun, right? It's a deck building challenge. So this is essentially Orzhov control. I've built this deck in many different ways. I've built a Kaya deck with this shell, this Kaya version of Kaya with this shell. I think I did a Lotho video with the same kind of shell. It's a very good shell. The shell is good, right? I've tested it multiple times. So I feel kind of confident about this one. However, we are going to be in Hell Queue with this commander, meaning we're going to be playing all the other top tier, S tier decks. So we are neutering ourselves in this experiment. The matchmaker, I can confirm, does not, rank you lower or put you against lower tier decks because they know that you took 2 of your colors out of your, color pie. I did a whole series with Golos where I did monocolored Golos decks, where I did mono green, mono blue, mono red, and so on Golos decks. And we still played all the same decks that you would play if you played 5-color good stuff Golos. So we are going to play the Ruskos and the Ragavans and other Atraxas. We're going to have an Atraxa mirror. So we'll see how that goes. The only thing that's not technically in the Orzhov colors, although lands are colorless technically, is the lands, right? So we do have at least one basic land type of each, type that we're trying for Atraxa. So we have all the colors because we do eventually want to cast Atraxa. That's part of the gimmick, right? So we have a snow-covered forest and snow-covered island, and then everything else is kind of, what you would expect for an Orzhov deck. Beseju is just such a good land. We included it. And then we have all the fetchable, lands that we think are applicable. These couple of triomes. We have all the fetch lands and all of the applicable shock lands, right? So somewhere in there, we should be able to, by the time we get to 7 mana, have all 4 colors, right? It's not guaranteed. We also have mana fixing things like Arcane Signet and the Celestis, Staff of Completion, Lantern of Revealing, things like that. I believe there are ways to get treasures in this deck. We have land tax because we're in white, so we can fetch up all our basics if we wanted to. So we have, the point being, we have other ways to mana fix to get to this, to get to our 4 colors, even in Orzhov. And so the idea of the deck is to play Orzhov control. When we need to refill our hand, we cast Atraxa, refill our hand, and keep going, right? We're not really using Atraxa as the, well, I guess that's kind of how Atraxa is used, but we don't really care if this lives or dies. That's not our win con for the deck. We have other win cons built in, like Kaya. But, I mean, if it stays on the battlefield, great. We have a 7/7 flying death touch, lifelinking, vigilant creature. But if they remove it, we're essentially just using it as a 7 mana refill our hand spell, right, in the command zone. And that's kind of going to be the theme of all the videos. So let's see if we can actually get some wins with this deck. I appreciate you watching. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I like doing all sorts of funny deck building challenges like this. I like sort of testing myself and seeing the result, you know. If we lose all our games, well, you know, it's all good. We brewed a deck, we had fun. If we win some games, maybe we learn some things, you know. Maybe there's a version of Atraxa that's better because it's a little bit more streamlined than the 4-color version. 4-color and 5-color decks are hard, you know. So yeah, we're already going against the cedh God of the Tree. Thankfully, we're in Orzhov, which has a lot of removal. In fact, it probably has the best removal. I mean, Necropotence in your opener, along with Black Market. They do get to go first, but we can turn one Necropotence. With Overgrown too? Oh man, did we just do that? I mean, that's so good. That's so good. Unfortunately, we don't have any removal, but usually the way this deck works is they spend their first couple turns mana fixing to get this down, so we have a little bit of time. Ah, no! Don't do it. Take the Black Market. Yes! They're an Arena Zoomer. They don't know about Necropotence. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna pay that 2 life. And then we just go ahead and get this sucker cooking. So we have 4 cards, so we need to do at least 3 to get to a full hand. And that's all we want to do, because we don't want to discard to hand size. Yeah, the trigger happens in our end step, so our discard phase happens after our end step. So if we did 8 cards, for example, we'd have to discard one of these. So we don't want to go overboard. Then obviously we're paying life to do this, so we don't want to go overboard in that regard either. 2 or more other lands. This is fine. Do we just do Haggard Mauling? It is a removal spell. Yeah. Now we're gonna draw more lands. Let's just keep it going. Draw a card, get back to 7. Pass the turn. Childred, pretty nice. Assemble the team, yeah. I wonder what they pick. They gotta have some kind of way to blow this up. That's gotta be what they're looking at. Like a Assassin's Trophy or something like that. Like a enchantment removal or non-land permanent removal. Which they should have in their deck. But they might just be looking for lands. Because, they gotta fix these colors. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, I think they might have fetched a Triome, honestly. Which is not a bad play. Okay. We don't, so if you're not familiar with this card, we skip our draw step. Witnesses on the battlefield. That's why we're not drawing any cards. So it has that quote-unquote drawback. But in reality, it's a huge advantage for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do this for 2. We can add 1 mana of any color. I don't think we care about that right now. Okay. More lands is nice. We were running low on lands. So we could Sheolder it and gain some life back, which would be pretty nice. A shock in the Sacred Foundry. Assassin's Trophy. Cultivate. Okay. Sure. They're going to have Prismatic Bridge next turn. So we have 2 turns, I guess, to figure it out. We have our turn and their turn, right? Because they play it and it doesn't trigger till their upkeep. So we have this next turn plus the turn they do it. If that makes sense. Sorry if that sounded weird, but we have 2 turns to get rid of this thing or find a solution to getting rid of it. Let's mana fix with Flooded Strand. What do we need the most? We have green and black and white, so we need blue. We have, yeah, we have a lot of double black in our hand. So probably this one. So we can just, I think it makes the most sense to Shieldred here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. So we've already drawn like, what, 10 cards with this? It's just such a good card. Should be in any heavy black deck. Not really splashable in multicolored decks, like I wouldn't put it in this deck. But, it's so good. Even if they remove it now, we've drawn 10 cards with it. I mean, we've gotten all of our value. So they're going to slam the bridge here. That's fine. We still need to find a solution. But again, we have this turn to do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is at our end step. Your next end step, yeah. So it doesn't work on their end step. We didn't find a solution. So all we can do is try to get more value than them. What does this say? Each opponent... Well, we could draw with this if we wanted to. But then we wouldn't have any mana. We could draw with this by paying 4 life, and then we gain that life back with Shieldred. I think this is the play, just because it gives us the most value.
Liliana Vess? Sorry, haven't heard that name before.
Well, that'll work.
I never thought I'd miss the library.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw a card. Keep this hand full of answers. The One Ring's pretty nice too, especially with Shieldred. Let's see what they get for free. Kenrith. They could give it haste and pump it and get rid of Professor Onyx, and that's their whole turn. They can absolutely do that if they want. Thinking, yep. It's a play you can make, opponent. Fable. Okay. So they can give that haste too, which is pretty decent. Resolve. All creatures gain haste. So they can just... Yeah, okay. That works too. They get a treasure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they gotta get rid of Professor Onyx. It's very good value.
Too rowdy for my tastes.
Okay, my turn. Alright, so... We could kill Kenrith with Haggard Mauling. But then we don't have enough for Kaya. We could exile Kenrith. With this Kaya. I believe we can do that. Yeah, we have enough for this Kaya. We really need to get rid of their Prismatic Bridge. It's just too much value. And if we exile, we get our own copy of it. So that's absolutely what we're going to do. You have a counter spell? This would be the time. Resolve. I mean, that would be a well-placed counter. Mystical Dispute. Nice. Okay. We trudge on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Activate ability. Activate ability. They could kill us next turn, probably, if we don't hold up Shielder as a blocker. So, I think we gotta pass. That's nice. They get Noxious Gear Hulk, of course. So I think they just win here. Prismatic Bridge is so good. We could we have Atraxa? I forgot to even look at that. Green. So black, green, white, blue. Yeah, right? We could have. We could have. So they could just give all their creatures haste and then we lose. Cool. Alright. Maybe I should have played Atraxa. Maybe that was the mistake I made. I kind of forgot that we could do that, even though that's the whole point of the deck. But they had the timely counterspell. So if they didn't have that counterspell, which, you know, it's kind of luck of the draw that they had it, we would have exiled their Prismatic Bridge, and we would have gotten a copy of it. So we would have had our own Prismatic Bridge, which would have been a huge swing. So that was like the moment in the game where the game was decided, essentially. Sit this. Okay. They get to go first. Yeah, I think this is good against them. Essentially, the way to beat this deck is just to kill Sithis over and over. This is kind of awkward, though. I mean, to be fair, this is all a little awkward. Celestis can draw us into some better stuff, though, so I think we keep. This gets rid of an enchantment, too, which is important in this deck. You know, against their deck is what I'm trying to say. So let's just mana fix here. We have white, so why don't we go get the is it Zaggoth Triome? Yeah. Gets everything but white. Is it this? Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. Yep. Get rid of that. So now they can't play it. Well, I guess they could play it next turn, but then that would be their whole turn. That's fine. Draw a card. Yep. Forest. Celestis. Now we have triple black for Necropotence. I think this is definitely going to be a game where Atraxa needs to refill our hand. Huh? During your turn. Okay. Sure. Okay, pump their creatures. Draw a card. Elvish Mystic. This thing has to die at some point because it kind of does the same thing as Sithis. Just like endless value for them. Too bad this isn't 4 toughness. We could blow up this thing. Flowering of the White Tree. We could go get triple black. I think it's... No, because once we have white down, we have all our colors. So yeah, this is okay to go get triple black for Necropotence. Just so that we have it. Then let's ramp. I think this will be more important in the long term. And then we can do this at instant speed. This can buff their creatures. This is probably not great now because we have to take life to do it. I think I'd rather Atraxa. This is a enchantment, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So I think that's the best play we could have made. Now they have to play cedh in order to start drawing cards again. Next turn we have 6, 7 mana, so we could play Atraxa. Refill our hand. That's their whole turn. It does have ward because of this thing. Oh, I guess it's not their whole turn. That's right. They have 2 mana. Okay. So they attack me with their 2/3. If we draw like some kind of Wrath or Meat Hook Massacre, that would be great. Eldest Reborn, not quite. We could play Liliana, start making zombies. They have a lot of exile removal in their deck. I think the better play for while we still have 17 life is just to refill our hand. If they can't remove it, then we have a giant life linking, you know, flyer. Okay. So, black mana, I guess. Land. Dark Ritual would be great. As a spell. Or an instant. Planeswalker, yeah. Is Thoughtseize better? It might be, honestly. It's hard to say over Invoke Despair. Saga Artifact? Pretty good, it's a pretty good haul. Okay, Flooded Strand. Oh, discard 2. Okay. Guess I already played my land. This is essentially a removal spell. This is a removal spell. This is a little awkward in this matchup. I can't believe I'm getting rid of this, but I think it is just due to our life total. I'm trying to click it. There we go. And then Eldest Reborn is not great here either. I think these are the best 7. Now, they probably have like exile removal of some kind. But again, if they don't, really hard for them to attack through a 7/7. Overwhelming Splendor. Okay. But that was their whole turn. And if they attack here, I'm just going to block. So I get Atraxa back. That's fine. Thank you for giving me back my draw spell. That's really annoying. But not the end of the world. Okay. So we could exile their cedh. Then they attack down the Wandering Emperor, and that's essentially their whole turn, right? Okay, so Flooded Strand. Am I not able to pay for it? I can't pay life, is that what this says? Okay, gotcha. Womp womp. Well, we could Dark Ritual. That would give us around 0 timeouts. Okay, why don't we just do it and just see what happens. That gives us enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's fine. We'll find a way to use it. Probably on cedh's ward cost.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
Yep. Pay the 1.
You're done.
Elspeth's Nightmare. What does this do? Add white. That's their best mana creature. Now we can get into their hand anyway. With that, we're going to double get rid of spells. We need to get rid of this at some point, but it's not too painful right now. They make a 3/3. They're gonna attack down the Emperor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, this not being able to be cracked is pretty obnoxious. Didn't know that this affected that. Can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. Okay. One at Emperor, one at my face. Yep. We could have used the Dark Ritual to cast Atraxa, maybe. But they had a lot of answers in their hands, so not sure that line would have worked. We do win in the sense that Cedh isn't on the board, so... We get to get rid of that thing out of their hand. Unless they cast it right here. Resolve. Okay. We're going to exile their graveyard next turn. Pay 2 life. Liliana. And...
My army will envelop this world.
I think we just make their board smaller. They're going to attack down Liliana, which is fine, but then we're going to play Cave next turn. And be able to cast Atraxa again. So, they're probably just going to play Cedh, attack down the Liliana, and then we get to refill our hand with Atraxa. We're right back in this game. I believe the ETB still works because of replacement effects, but we will find out together. Let's find out. Wait, what? I don't have enough mana? 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not that one. 6, 7, 8. Oh. Okay, well I guess next turn we're doing what I said. Awkward. I guess I was still counting this one in my brain. Level 2. They're gonna buff their creatures. Yeah, makes sense. Make another creature. Okay. So let's... Hold on. Let's... Oh, I can't activate the... Oh my god, that's so freaking annoying. But this is not a mana ability. How does this work? I'm so confused. Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities, but this is... Unless it's just telling me to add mana. Okay. I guess they've turned off all our abilities. Just pass through the turn. We have nothing else to do. Yep. Overwhelming Splendor. Pretty good card. They have one card in hand. Is it a removal spell? Because if it's not, Atraxa will essentially keep us in the game with lifelink. Why did they do that? What are they going to get rid of? Yeah, you can get rid of my artifact that can't be activated. That's totally fine with me. I thought they were going to get rid of the Mind Stone. I was like, man, that's brutal. What is this? It has flying. Sure. Draw 2, I guess. Sounds good. My turn. Staff. Not really what we need. Okay. It's going to be a 1-1. Good game. No, that's... I don't think that's how that works. So we're going to lose here because of arena rules. But I just learned about this. So the card Humility works the same way. The professor had a video on this. I think what's actually supposed to happen is the ETB of this creature. I think the ETB is still supposed to work even with this thing. But you could tell me in the comments. No blocks. I'm pretty sure the ETB is still supposed to happen, and then it turns into a 1/1. But, because I think humility works the same way, but, oh well. I guess not according to Arena. Maybe it's cat. No. What was the card? It was Painter's Servant was the example card, and I can't remember if that's a cast trigger or not. But I think Painter's Servant says when it enters the battlefield. But, you know, supposedly Arena's, you know, when you play cards in Arena, it's supposed to do exactly what the rules state, but I'm kind of curious about that one. And I know that one's a complicated one because it has to do with state-based actions, and there's like 7 layers of state-based actions, and depending on what layer you are, and I believe that effect of the curse is like layer 6. So things like ETBing, like entering the battlefield, I believe is a higher layer than that, and it's supposed to happen first. But I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. Davriel. Okay. We don't have white mana. We do have Duress. I can't remember. Oh, okay. Well, they ran away, so it doesn't matter. Hey, we got a win. I do think I could have won one of those first 2 games if I played a little bit better. This is sort of a weird deck, obviously, but it's taken me a couple games to get used to playing it. But I think I made some critical errors, and then, you know, the opponents got a little lucky, like, you know, having that curse. I mean, you know, that it's really hard to get around that curse unless you have exactly the right kind of answer to remove it. And then, you know, we did have the enchantment removal earlier, and we had just spent it to get rid of that draw creature, and then they cast that right after. So I was like, okay. And then the Prismatic Bridge, they had the counter spell at the exact right time, and I could probably guess that deck has like maybe 3 counter spells, right? So just unlucky. I think if we replayed those games, you know, and I played a little bit better in each one of those, we could win those pretty handedly. But, you know, that's just the way Magic goes sometimes. I think the deck is actually still working really well. Even in those 2 losses, I think we still... I mean, again, we're playing in Hell Q, so we're at a disadvantage because we're not using blue or green in our deck. Which, you know, obviously green for, you know, lots of reasons is one of the best colors, and blue is same thing. So, you know, being able to keep up with these S tier decks is still an accomplishment even if we lose, right? Okay, so they get to go first because why not? This will be a really hard game. This will be a really hard one. That doesn't hit their commander. Man. I honestly don't really know. How did this end up in our hand twice? Okay, mold to 5. I mean, that's better. I just don't think we're gonna do it. I think we're just move on to the next game. You have to have the exact right lineup to beat a Rusko deck. That deck is so broken. I mean, say all you want about, like, Prismatic Bridge and, you know, those types of decks, but at least they're real cards. Okay, we get a rematch. Rusko is a fake card. It's not a real card. It's an alchemy card. So you have to, like, your hand has to be excellent to beat this deck. For those not familiar, this is not a real card. It is made up. And why do they always get to go first? It's so stupid. Sheldrak's Edict is nice though. And we have ramp and we have all our colors. So I think this is about as good as it gets. 2 removal spells, ramp. Yeah, I mean, you know, what else are we gonna do? Cool. Take one of my things. Yeah, I guess we'll take the ramp. More alchemy cards, huh? Couldn't handle just one? Needed a couple more? Okay. Turn 1, tap land. Fix all our colors. Dark Ritual into Rusko. We can just Sheldrak's Edict it. I guess they could have a 1 mana blue counter spell. It's definitely possible. Bell Pierce. Fading Hope. Back into your hand. Sure. Okay. We can Vanishing Verse their Midnight Clock. So... oh man, I wish I had 2 black sources. But I only have 1, because then I could duress them and get rid of that. This is such a waste, though. Because they're just going to get it again. Okay, why don't we do this? Take the best card out of their hand. If they counter it, it is what it is. We can ramp then with Mind Stone. I think that's better. Yes, they're going to get multiple Midnight Clocks. It is what it is. It's impossible to keep up with the Midnight Clocks in this deck. Unless you have like a Farewell or something. So they have to decide whether they want to counter this or let me take the best spell out of their hand. So they don't have a counter spell. Deadly Dispute. Well, Discover the Formula is probably the best spell. These are okay. They can definitely sacrifice their commander to draw 2 if that's what they want to do. I have no problem with that. They have no other lands, so next turn they're looking at playing Rusko and doing nothing else. Okay. Take the Vanishing Verse. That's what you should do. Yep. But now you can't play Rusko. Good turn. Resolve. Ooh. Okay, so we just... ramp then, I guess? Getting this down early would be nice. We have 5. They're trying to draw a new hand with this Midnight Clock. Yep. Well, I know it's in your hand, so... I'm not worried about getting countered here. Signet. Well, they're going to draw a fresh 7, and we're going to draw a fresh 7, I guess. But their fresh 7 will come... No, they need 3 mana. So they can't... They can do it on our upkeep if they just hold up all their mana. Yeah, God, this deck is so good. It really fucking annoys me. Okay, here we go. Arcane Signet. Pristine Talisman. Get our mana straight. That's the best we could do. If we drew a land, we could have made them sack the Rusko or something, but... that's it. That was the best we could do. Gain a life with the Talisman, because Rusko drains us, so we want to gain that life when we can. Now all they gotta do is just pass to my turn, Oh, okay, sure. They can play Teferi. That's fine. And then they're gonna draw a fresh 7, but they only have 1 mana, so.
I'm finished running from battles.
Oh no, they got 2. That's right, because they drew a fresh 7. Okay.
Who's that handsome
We'll see if we can resolve anything else the rest of this game. Probably not. Okay. Usually if you let one of their midnight clocks go off, it's GG. We could destroy all their creatures. We could Atraxa, and they could counter it, but we would at least refill our hand. I mean, I think that's what we have to do, right? They're probably going to counter it, and that's probably GG. Cool. Yep. Fun game. I mean, I say it every time I play against an alchemy card, but they gotta, at some point, remove alchemy cards from this format. But I feel like I just get to the point of complaining more than trying to like offer a strategic opinion on what could make the format better, so I don't really want to talk about it too much. Nah. That's the 3rd Rusco in a row, so I'm good. I'm good. I'll play a different alchemy card, Matchmaker, but don't really feel like playing Rusco again. People love that card too. Okay, Terragrid's fine. Yep. That's good against them. That's obviously great for us. Eldred's nice. Again, they get to go first. Cool. They, so this deck essentially doesn't work unless you, unless they get to keep Terragrid down. They're gonna have a lot of discard effects. I'm surprised they didn't have a Duress or something on turn 1, but that's usually what ends up happening. Yeah, I guess we just fetch our Triomes, right, with these. And try to get Necropotence down. Do we have white in our hand? We do have the ability to get a white, so let's get this. Nykthos, sure. Guardian Idol, yep. They're ramping out. So what do we do here? I think they might be trying to ramp into Terragrid, so let's prepare for that. Let's just get our mana fixed. And since they're in mono black, they'll have no way of getting rid of that enchantment. They'll have like one way to do it in their 100 card deck. Or, yeah, they're just ramping to the moon. Okay. That's fine with me. So we have a couple options. We could obviously Necropotence, which would be great. Might be worth it, honestly, because if they somehow make me discard it, that would be a bummer. I think that's what we do. I think this, they can't interact with it because it's an enchantment. Well, again, they have like 2 solutions for it in their deck, but for all intents and purposes, they don't have a way to interact with enchantments in mono black. So I think if, you know, since their deck is a lot of discard, this will help keep us in the game. They just haven't hit me with the discard yet, because I think what they're trying to do is get Terragrid out and get max value so they can play Terragrid and then make me discard something. The thing is that... Oh, okay. Interesting. Sure. So there's probably going to be a discard effect, right? Windstone? No? Weird. Okay, we're just kind of having a staring match. Yeah. This is very good, so we got to get rid of this at some point. We can just Shieldred them as well. but they're in mono black, so they're gonna have tons of creature removal. It's probably not a good play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we gotta get rid of this. This is free value for them. Let's treasure map as well. That's very good against their commander. Instant speed too. So these kind of do the same thing. Okay, so we'll let it enter the battlefield. Next thing that goes on the stack, we will pass. Let's see what happens here. What is this? Sheoldred's Edict that hits nothing. I'm glad we played treasure map. So now we can turn this off. Resolve. Unless they can sacrifice it, but that's fine with us as well. Now it loses all abilities, so it's literally just a 4/5. And then we can treasure map and scry. Not really what we're looking for right now. Demolition field. This is just lands, right? Yeah. So we can play this. No, because they put that in their hands. So that does nothing. They're going to start hitting us with this 4/5. Okay. Let's just see what we draw. We might draw like a remove target non-land permanent spell. We could scry with the treasure map to try to, you know, eke out the best card, but it's okay. Leaving all our mana up gives us the most options. Thoughtseize. Too bad that's not an instant. Well, these are good cards for later, but not good cards for this turn. If they try to attack us, we can just go for the throat them. Or maybe Hagger Mauling because it's the most mana efficient. We might have to take one hit from this Terror Grid. Just so that if they go to their end step, we can kill it without them being able to replay it. Because if we kill it now or we kill it before combat, they can just replay it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they can definitely replay it. They're going to draw a card with Mind Stone. Iris Beetle. Sure. So we could kill it now, and now they can't replay it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we can kill this now. Should have used Hagger Mauling. Oh well. Fine. Resolve. Make me discard a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to give me 3 treasures, so I'm not really worried about the Mind Stone. Goes into exile if I discard it. Oh, is that a direct counter to their commander? I wonder if that supersedes their commander, so they can't steal any of my stuff. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Blow up their mana Mutavault. Let's go get a... We have triple black, so what? Green source? I don't know. We have a lot of black in our hand. I guess more black is good. Resolve. Univault's dead. They can't attack me with it. Pass through the turn. See what they get. Oppression. Pretty good. Resolve. But we have Necropotence, which kind of counters that. Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna get a ton of mana with that. No. Same reason we got rid of the other one. Okay. Draw. We don't draw because of Necropotence. So we can treasure map, make a bunch of treasures, play Atraxa, and draw a new hand. We can thought seize them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still have enough mana for Atraxa. Why don't we lead with that? We have to discard a card. So I guess it'll be Haggard Mauling. Or actually, it'll be Shieldred. Shieldred is just bad. I mean, they have... It's mono black. They have a ton of answers for Shieldred. Exile it. Yeah, look at all this removal. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2s. Yeah, well, we don't really want that. Sacrifice a creature. Yeah. Okay. Gotta be Awaken the Erstwhile. So... If we play Atraxa, we have to discard a card because of Oppression. Meathook Massacre. I mean, it's pretty good, right? That on top. I guess we can discard Haggard Mauling. We don't really want to discard this. But yeah, let's do it like this. Discard Haggard Mauling. Yep. Resolve. Draw a new hand. They're going to have removal for Atraxa, but again, that's okay with us. They now have to discard a card, which is really funny. Oppression is symmetrical. It's for each player, not just us. Yep. Okay. Take action. Atraxa trigger still on the stack. Look at my top 10. Plaque. Nice. D-Spark is exactly what we need to get rid of that Jamil. Reliquary Tower would be nice. Invoke Despair would be nice. Languish doesn't hit Tear Grid. And we have, we don't need two things that make us lose life. So I think we do it like this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to lose 2 life. Now, once we get Reliquary Tower down, we can go to town with Necropotence. So now they have 2 weird removal spells. Or removal spells that don't work because we have nothing to remove. Creature removal spells is what I mean. And Tear Grid. So once we get rid of this thing, and Tergrid. They're really kind of stuck. Yep, that doesn't work against us either. So do we have enough next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to -5. No, we don't have enough to do both. Discard a card. Well, I guess we could just do this on this, and then we don't really care, right? We could do this on that. We could invoke Despair. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's better. We get rid of Oppression, too. Discard a card. Mind Spike is pretty useless here. Okay. Reliquary Tower. Yeah, I guess we're gonna discard land tax and one other thing. So why don't we lead with this so we don't have to discard a bunch of different stuff. We only have to discard one thing. Resolve. Land tax. So they get to get land tax, I guess. Oh, and now they can sack land tax. Damn. Okay, well. Hold on. Oh, we don't have... Man, I fucked that turn up so bad. Oh, well, this is still very good. Resolve. Get rid of this because it's no longer applicable. Sure, they can take the Meat Hook Massacre. It doesn't do anything against us. Resolve all. So Necropotence doesn't get around Tergrid's ability, but now we don't care because they don't have a Tergrid anymore. They have a 0/1. And this can get rid of either of these. Oh, we forgot to Necropotence. Shit. Whoops. Oh well. Okay, land. And now they are empty-handed, so as soon as we get rid of this, they have nothing going on. They attack with their 2/2. And their 0/1. I am down to 13, so I gotta be careful with Necropotence. Yeah, make me discard, is that what that does? Okay. Resolve. How many lands do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One off from this. Damn, that Necropotence. Getting Necropotence is really rough. Yeah. Okay. Resolve. I think this is the most value, right? Discard. Or exile target unpermitted with mana that are 3 or greater, so that's this. Yeah. So discard you so that they don't get our Elspeth Conqueror's Death. That would be rough. Oh, now that works? I guess because it's doesn't get affected. I have nothing else to discard, so oppression doesn't matter here. Get rid of your card advantage, although they still have Bank Buster, but that's a lot slower. And they can hit... What is this? Crew 3? They don't have enough to do that, so... I feel safe drawing some cards here. Don't want to go too low. We'll take 4 cards. That's nice. That's nice. That's great. Okay. That's a nice one. Resolve. Resolve. Alright, these are all permanents. But this does nothing against us, right? So we're gonna discard the Eldest Reborn. Because we're gonna sweep it up with Farewell anyway. Oh. Wait, why does this work sometimes and not other times? I don't know. You'll have to tell me about that one. Through 3. Okay, so they're gonna hit me for 5. Alright. Pass. Hit me for 5. My turn. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I cast Farewell, I have to discard a card to Oppression. And so I'd have to discard this land. I don't want to give him Vraska because I can't get rid of it with Farewell. I could play Vraska and what is this? Target creature? No, we gotta cast Farewell, and we just have to give him the land. And then they'll play Terrorgrid again. And then are we dead? No, we Vraska and get rid of it. Yeah. Resolve. You can have this land. Oh, no, you can't. Never mind. So that hurts them a lot more than it hurts us. Their commander now costs 9. So they can't even play it. Okay. We are back in this game. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Yeah, awkward, awkward 2 things that make us lose life. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we gotta do this to get Atraxa down. And we'll just go get a basic land. Make sure we can actually get Atraxa down. Yeah. I mean, we already cast it, so we're good, right? Let's just get the plains. Atraxa. They have 1 card in hand. It could definitely be a removal spell. They're in black. An edict. Yep. Of course. Take action. That's okay. Life gain. The Celestis is also life gain, but... Life gain. Wrath. Beseju. Yes. Perfect. So next turn we can Kaya and start gaining some life. I think we can do this too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we haven't even played our land drop yet.
I can't stand by when
I would like to get away from that, please.
That's just the start.
Yes. We'll hold up Beseju. I think we might want to get rid of this Nykthos. Okay. I think we're in the driver's seat. from the brink of death. Yep. Oh my god. Alright. That was a rough one. But we did it. Okay, well, let's do a deck review. Again, you know, I think we only ended up really winning 1 game. So to me, that's, I think, a win because we are playing in the hardest S tier part of the queue with Atraxa as our commander, yet we're not playing the, you know, net decked version of Atraxa. We're playing a neutered version, right? But I will say that, you know, just to repeat myself, the first 2 games, I feel like at least one of those we could have won if I just played a little bit better, and if we didn't have bad luck in both of those games. I feel like the opponents just had the answer at the right time, and it wasn't like a spell. The answer wasn't a spell that was like an integral part of their deck. It was like a counter spell in the deck that cares about planeswalkers and creatures and the prismatic bridge, right? So it's just kind of like, I mean, you got me, cool, Magic the Gathering, right? But not a common interaction that would happen. And then in the second game, I think I just misplayed, but I think if we really look at these games concretely, like I forget whether it was like 4 or 5 games that we played. I think we could have at least won half of them, convincingly. The other 2, you know, are the Rusco ones I kind of toss aside. I mean, I don't even really count losses to alchemy cards. I don't know how you guys feel, but to me, I'm like, I don't count losing to fake cards. They're not real. You know what I mean? They're not real cards. Like, they're not balanced or designed to work within the ecosystem of Magic the Gathering. They're just made up, you know? So, this card's very good, but it's not even as good as those alchemy cards, right? I mean, a lot of people think this is broken, but to me, like, 7 mana, draw a new hand is balanced, you know? And it's 4 color, so it's like, fix your mana, have 7 mana, and then, yeah, you could draw up to 10 cards, right? Or I don't know how many permanent types there are, but you could draw a new hand, essentially, right? Okay, well, that's what 7 mana should do in Magic the Gathering, right? But 4 mana should not give you endless ramp and drain you, you know what I mean? And refill your hand, you know, it's just... Yeah, so I don't really count those losses. But for the sake of the numbers of this video, we'll just say that those were my losses, and the one we won just now and the other 2 in the beginning, you could chop up to me playing better, whatever, however you want to put it. So I think the deck did pretty well, is my point, right? I think this, you know, if I you know, put in 5 hours with this deck in queue, I think I'd be a lot better at playing it, right? I think the other thing is weird playing an Atraxa deck that was only 2 colors. It was kind of weird to wrap my brain around that. So, you know, I think just reps would have helped me play it. But overall, I think the deck worked really well. Especially in Orzhov colors, you know, you have such good removal, so you can kind of take on any kind of deck. And I felt like this deck had the answers to things, even if I didn't play them correctly. Whether it was times where we needed to draw a fresh hand, or we needed to draw a way to like turn off our opponent's terror grid, we had ways of doing that, right? Versus like some other guilds that might struggle. Like when I make the Simic version of this deck, I think it's going to have to be completely different. It can't be a control deck. Simic is just not a great control color. You know, obviously there's probably some Simic deck out there that's a control deck, but in general, that's not really its forte. It's better at like exploding out in front of the opponent, like with ramp and you know, control pieces. So that's probably the way we're gonna have to build that. So each of these different videos on the different guilds, there's gonna be a completely different take and style of play based on what those guild colors do best. And I feel like Orzhov is the best at control because it just has the best removal and it has great card draw with black. So yeah, if you like the video, let me know down below. Obviously, tell me about all my mistakes. I just love those comments from you guys. It just makes me so happy. Nah, all kidding aside, this is a channel where we learn some stuff, so I'm all about the discussion. But yeah, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Just hit the subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds. Just go click. I'm, as of the recording this video, I think I'm 4 subs away from 500, and 500 is like the first entry point into being an official YouTuber. So, you know, little pat myself on the back real quick. But no, it's big. Like, people have been liking my stuff. So if you want to be a part of the community, hit the, you know, ground running with me, so to speak, getting on the ground floor, however you want to put it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to keep the videos coming. I'm going to keep doing fun stuff like this. we're not always going to win, but we're going to talk about what worked and what didn't and learn together. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.